In Southern California, a closed nuclear power plant is harboring 3.6 million pounds of radioactive waste on an earthquake fault line.
Radiation leak at an American nuclear power plant, SanO, 45 miles north of San Diego, California.
A radiation leak in 2012 led the power company Edison to temporarily halt work at the plant in order to derate 2 of its nuclear units. Then, the environmental group Friends of the Earth filed a legal petition with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission citing evidence that the radiation leak was caused by a design flaw in the steam tubes and that Edison's proposed solution would not lower the risk of catastrophic tube failure. Then, in 2013, Edison announced the permanent retire of the San Onofre nuclear power plant, in part because of Friends of the Earth's legal action. The plant's shutdown caused over 1,100 people to lose their jobs and cost local taxpayers over $2.5 billion. Some activists say Edison still hasn't paid enough.
My name is Donna Gilmore, and I'm supposed to be retired, enjoying the good life in Orange County and San Clemente, and then I learned I was just in my backyard enjoying my retirement, and I'm reading the newspaper that Edison, Southern California Edison, is firing employees for reporting safety problems to the NRC, to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and they fired them.
I may not have a job tomorrow after what I'm about to say, but that's fine, because I made a promise to my daughter that if no one else talked about what happened on Friday, that I would. About 12:30 on August 3rd, we were downloading, and the canister didn't download, but the rigging came all the way down. It was gross errors on the part of 2 individuals.
In August of 2018, a whistleblower spoke up about an incident that occurred during the decommissioning of the San Onofre nuclear plant. This is what inspired Gary Hedrick, founder of San Clemente Green, to get involved with the San Onofre plant.
They almost dropped one of these canisters 18 feet to the concrete pad below, and it was hanging on by 1/4 of an inch. So thanks to a whistleblower again. I almost hate to use that term because it sounds derogatory to some people, but they're heroes, really.
Edison told us that they weren't loading right now because they were giving the employees a much-needed break, you know. Turns out that was a lie.
We can't just keep listening to these guys and believing them because they've lied to us so many times in the past. And either outright lies or they just predict things that go wrong. You know, they expect things to go right, and when they don't go right, it's disastrous. So.
Each canister, and Edison admitted this, one canister holds as much radioactivity as was released from the 1986 Chernobyl nuclear disaster. Just one can.
So people ask how much waste we have stored at San Onofre, and here's the comparison. Here's 10 megaton nuclear weapon, the Chernobyl accident in 1986 that covered much of Europe, atmospheric tests, and then these last 3 are all the amounts of radiation that's stored at San Onofre.
We not only have to take on the nuclear industry, the utilities, the vendors, the NRC, we have to take on these independent experts that are supposed to be, you know, helping make us safe.
You say people within a 50-mile radius might have to evacuate. That's basically LA to San Diego, and there's no reason to think it won't go beyond 50 miles, but that's what they recommended in Japan is evacuation if you're within 50 miles.
Well, my goal is not to have permanent evacuations. That's my goal, because if we have even one of those Chernobyl cans explode, we're never going home again.
There has been a nuclear accident in the Soviet Union, and the Soviets have admitted that it happened. The Soviet version is this. One of the atomic reactors at the Chernobyl atomic power plant near the city of Kiev was damaged, and there is speculation in Moscow that people were injured and may have died.
Кадры. Это пятна раскаленной графитовой кладки. Их высокая температура способствовала сильному восходящему потоку, а с ними с шахты реактора выносились радиоактивные частицы.
These are the thin canisters that we're using that are the temporary type, and they're welded shut when they're filled. whereas most of the other countries that have nuclear waste put them in casks that are bolted together. They have two lids and instruments in between the lids that can tell you if there's a problem that you need to address.
Gary and Donna say that the canisters are too thin. Edison replies that the canisters meet Nuclear Regulatory Committee standards and are thicker than most canisters used in America. However, thinner canisters have cracked in the past.
And then this exhibit really got the public's attention. They were appalled when they saw actual photographs of how close the nuclear waste is being buried to the ocean. Hopefully we can help come up with solutions and be a positive force for future generations. And it's a big problem, and I'm glad we're not alone in it. There's people all around the world trying to solve this one.